Hi, I'm Cheryl Leach. In this video, we're going to look at finding the derivative of a function using the limit definition of a derivative. The function that we're going to use is f of x equals minus 5x. So let's start with the definition of a derivative. F prime of x equals the limit as delta x approaches 0 of f of x plus delta x minus f of x all over delta x. This particular definition has four pieces to it. We've got the f of x plus delta x, the subtraction of f of x, the division by delta x, that's the difference quotient part of it. And we have one more piece this time. We need to take the limit of that entire expression. So just like we do when we're looking at a difference quotient, we'll start from the inside and work our way out, which means that the limit is the last thing we're going to do. So to start out, I'm just going to keep writing this limit in front of my expression until I'm actually ready to evaluate it. So as always, working from the inside out, the first thing I need to do is evaluate f of x plus delta x. In other words, what is the value of the function when the input is x plus delta x? Well, my function says to take the input and multiply it by negative 5. So I'll have minus 5 times the quantity x plus delta x. The next thing to do is to subtract the f of x. I always put that in parentheses to make sure I subtract the entire function. This time I got lucky though, the function only had one term. So if you forgot the parentheses this time, it wouldn't have hurt, but it's always a good idea because many times that function will have more than one term. And then we're going to divide by delta x, and then eventually take the limit. Right. At this point, if you would like to try using your limit laws to evaluate this limit, please feel free to do so. However, when you do that, you're going to end up with 0 over 0, which is an indeterminate form, so our limit laws are not going to apply. When that happens, we need to figure out a way of rewriting my expression into a form that I can apply those limit laws. So it's time to do some algebra. I've got the limit as delta x approaches 0 of minus 5x minus 5 delta x plus 5x all over delta x. And I notice I have a negative 5x and a positive 5x, so those will add together to be 0. And I have the limit as delta x approaches 0 of minus 5 delta x all over delta x. Now, at any point along the way here, you could still try using your limit laws, but you're still going to get that indeterminate form, even at this stage. But I also notice that there's a delta x in the numerator and the denominator, which I can cancel. So that leads to the limit as delta x approaches 0 of minus 5. Now can I apply my limit laws? I absolutely can. Because as delta x approaches 0, what happens to minus 5? Well, there's no delta x in that at all. So as delta x approaches 0, this function is going to stay, or that expression is going to stay at a negative 5. And so the derivative of my function f of x equals negative 5x is minus 5. Thanks, I hope that was helpful.